Very good morning and welcome to Breakfast with Dan Walker and Louise Minchin.
Headlines for you at 6 o'clock this morning. Open for business. Outdoor hospitality, shops and hairdressers in England will welcome back customers in the latest stage of lockdown easing.
Yes, good morning. The shutters are coming up, but will the tills be ringing? I'm in Chester, where retailers are hoping to recoup millions of pounds worth of losses.
The Duke of Edinburgh remembered by those closest to him. His children pay tribute to their father.
It's a great loss. I think the way I would put it is that we've lost almost the grandfather of the nation.
It's very, very sad, but I have to say that the extraordinary tributes and the memories that everybody has had and been willing to share has been so fantastic.
Good morning. History is made at the Masters. Hideki Matsuyama becomes the first Japanese man to win a golf major after victory at Augusta National.
Oh, I was a dancer.
Were you?
Yes.
Dad?
What?
You're an engineer.
Sir Anthony Hopkins becomes the oldest ever winner of the Best Actor Award at the BAFTAs.
Good morning. Some of us waking up this morning to some sleet and snow, and as we go through this week, it's going to be cold, there'll be frost by night, still some wintry showers in the forecast, but equally some sunshine. I'll have all the details coming up.
It's a Monday, the 12th of April. Our top story for you. The Prime Minister has urged people to behave responsibly as England takes its next step in easing lockdown restrictions from today.
Pubs and restaurants can now serve customers outside, and all shops, gyms and close contact services like hairdressers can reopen. Now, some rules have been relaxed in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Aruna Iyengar has more.
Opening its doors at midnight, regulars at this Huddersfield pub have been waiting for this moment for months. What used to be taken for granted, now a luxury to be savoured. Drinking can only take place outdoors. So was the chilly weather a put-off?
It was snowing earlier, but I was still going to come out. Just put the coat on.
After 14 months of not going anywhere, except funerals, it's a great plus.
We didn't even know if anyone was going to come. It's in Huddersfield, it's midnight, it's freezing cold. But look, everyone's come. We're at a single table that people haven't arrived at.
Thousands of businesses are reopening under the next phase of COVID restriction easing. In England, shops can open, pubs and restaurants can serve customers outdoors, hairdressers, salons, gyms and outdoor attractions like zoos and theme parks can now be visited. In Wales, non-essential shops can reopen today, but it will be a few more weeks until pubs can do the same. Travel restrictions across the border have been eased and most children are back in school. And in Scotland, most children will return to school unless they're shielding. Some are still closed for Easter holidays. In Northern Ireland, all children are back in school. The stay-at-home message is being relaxed and up to 10 people from 2 households can meet in a private garden. In a statement, Prime Minister Boris Johnson struck a cautious tone. He said, "I urge everyone to continue to behave responsibly and remember hands, face, space and fresh air to suppress COVID as we push on with our vaccination programme." But there's no stopping the enthusiasm of pub landlords as they prepare to pull the pints. This pub in Bexley Heath applied for a temporary licence to open at midnight.
I think we've come through the woods, so I'm hoping that this is sort of a rebirth almost, and that we're open now for the foreseeable.
The next big date for hospitality will be May the 17th, when hopefully customers will be able to enjoy a meal and a drink indoors. Aruna Iyengar, BBC News.
And Breakfast Jane McCubbin is at one of those pubs which will be providing outdoor hospitality today. Good morning to you, Jane. Got a few customers behind you as well.
Well, not customers, not just yet. In about an hour's time, this place is going to be busy. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is what we're talking about. It's not often you crave to be in a pub beer garden when the temperatures are -3, but I think a lot of people will be excited about this today. We're at the Greyhound Inn in Worslow in Staffordshire. Bit political, I'm told. I'm not allowed to say Derbyshire, is that right? No, let's not go there. Listen, this is landlord Lee. Good morning to you, Lee. How enthusiastic are you about today, and what have you got planned?
We've been enthusiastic since March last year, but today we've got a welcome breakfast for some of the guests who have helped us and supported us over the last year, some of the business sort of partners who have also collaborated with us at first thing, and then later on open at 12 o'clock.
And the community have really kept you going here, haven't they? How grateful are you to them?
Hugely grateful, so thank you very much to everybody who supported us.
Takeaway meals and your own pints that you've been brewing here.
Absolutely everything, literally anything we could do to support the pub and support the community, we have done.
It's going to be exciting this morning.
Yes.
Thanks for chatting to us. Look at this, they've even got a Toastmaster here this morning. Good morning to you, Vince.
Good morning.
You're gonna be here to welcome guests in about an hour's time, aren't you, for breakfast?
I certainly am.
Excellent stuff. Listen, there are actually 60% of pubs can't open today because they don't have the beautiful outdoor facilities as they do here. So it's just the first tentative steps, isn't it, towards getting back to normal. But lots of enthusiasm here this morning in Worslow. Back to you.
Thank you, Jane. Very important step that. We'll see you later on.
We'll be talking through all the changes this morning. Let's get some more detail on how changes to restrictions in Wales, what happens there today. Thomas Morgan is in Cardiff for us. So just to take us through, because it's not quite the same as what's happening in England, is it?
No, it's not. So this beer garden in Cardiff and all of those across Wales won't be opening here until at least the 26th of this month, and then we haven't got a date yet for indoors opening, but will be opening is the rest of the high street and close contact services. They all reopen from today. Hairdressers have actually thankfully been open in Wales since the middle of March, much to my delight and many of my colleagues. But the other things happening today is that travel will now be allowed between Wales and England, which is a huge boost for self-catering and accommodation outlets across the country, because many places I've spoken to actually rely up to 70-80% on tourists coming in from England, so some have chosen to stay closed until today, one of which will be going to a little later in the programme. As well as that, schools are open today, all face-to-face education, but another disgruntled industry in Wales today will be gyms, looking enviously across the border as they reopen and welcome fitness enthusiasts there.
Thomas, thank you very much indeed. We'll see you a little bit later. Thank you.
Now, the Prime Minister will lead tributes to the Duke of Edinburgh in the Commons later, as Parliament is recalled a day early from its Easter break.
The Princess Royal said her father had left a legacy which can inspire us all, and the Duke of York said the Queen had described Prince Philip's death as having left a huge void in her life. Our royal correspondent Daniela Relf has this report.
It'll be a week of reflection here in Windsor as the town prepares for the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral. Over the weekend, his children attended church in Windsor Great Park and spoke personally of their grief and loss.
It's very, very sad, but I have to say that the extraordinary tributes and the memories that everybody has had and been willing to share has been so fantastic. And it just goes to show he might have been our father, grandfather, father-in-law, but he meant so much to so many other people.
It's so lovely for so many people to learn about what he did, because I think quite a lot of things that have come out will have surprised some people.
The Countess also spoke to estate staff who knew the Duke. She told them his death had been very peaceful. She said it was as if someone had taken him by the hand and off he went. Princess Anne paid her own tribute, releasing this photo of her and her father at the London Olympics in 2012. Of his death, she said, "You know it's going to happen, but you're never really ready. We will miss him, but he leaves a legacy which can inspire us all." The family focus is now on protecting and supporting the Queen as she mourns. Her son, Prince Andrew, said after 73 years of marriage, she felt there was now a huge void in her life. Daniela Ralph, BBC News, Windsor.
Well, Daniela is live for us in Windsor this morning. Good morning to you. So what can we expect, Daniela, over the next few days in the build-up to that funeral on Saturday?
Yes, good morning, Dan. Well, in the next few days, we will hear more details about the funeral service itself and, of course, of those people who will be attending in that group of 30 that are allowed. Now, there are reports this morning, several reports, that Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, is now back in the UK. People saying that they saw him at Heathrow Airport yesterday afternoon after flying in on a flight from California. His team will not confirm that he is back in the UK, but to be honest, if he is going to abide by the UK's self-isolation regulations, then he would really need to be back here by now in order to be able to safely attend his grandfather's funeral on Saturday afternoon. It is also going to be a day of political tributes. Parliament has been recalled a day early, and the tributes there will be led by the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, followed by a response by the Labour leader, Keir Starmer. The Scottish Parliament has also been recalled, and we'll hear tributes from politicians in Wales as well. And I think the thing to remember with these political tributes is many of these politicians will have met the Duke of Edinburgh over the years at various functions and events, and I expect a lot of the political tributes that we'll hear will be personal anecdotes and stories and memories from those who've met him, including, of course, condolences and sympathy being offered to the Queen.
Daniela, thank you very much for that. I'm sure we'll be speaking to you over the next few days as well. That's Daniela Relf outside Windsor Castle this morning.
In other news, the former Prime Minister David Cameron has said he has important lessons to learn over his lobbying work on behalf of a financial firm which has since collapsed.
This follows weeks of criticism that he contacted ministers about Greensill Capital. Mr Cameron did not break any rules, but says he accepts he should have gone through only the most formal of channels. That was his quote. The Labour Party says many serious questions remain unanswered.
Officials in St Vincent have said the Caribbean island looks like a battle zone after a series of volcanic eruptions.
A volcano called La Soufrière first erupted on Friday, blanketing the area with ash, as you can see, and forcing around 16,000 people to leave their homes. Seismologists have warned there are further eruptions likely in the coming days.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.